In 1993, I earned a trip to the $1 Million Roundtable of the insurance industry. The $1 Million Roundtable is the top 3% of agents from around the world based on sales and production. Great crowd. And the meetings are great meetings. In the mornings, we have really famous people on the stage, like Christopher Reeves, Superman, Charlton Heston. On one morning at this particular meeting in New Orleans, John Belzer spoke to us. John told us a story how he and his fraternal twin brother in the 80s worked hard to form a band, wrote music, and were told by some people that they would be great stars one day. They were going to be American Idols before that phrase became so popular. He told us how his brother developed a sense of depression that deepened and deepened until the point that he jumped out of a building in New York City, fell a number of stories to his death, committing suicide. It hit John so hard, his grief was indescribable. He said he would walk the city just feeling a sense of lostness, no purpose in his life. One day he walked by the site where his brother had killed himself. Like an instant, he said, he had this vision of what he could do with his life. He decided to write songs for children, particular children who were suffering from terminal illness and chronic illness. He would contact the hospitals, find out the children there who needed that kind of song written for them. He would discover the name of their pet, their siblings' names, their favorite toys, where they're from, all the facts he could get, and then he would write a song about that child, and it would be named for the child. He started getting word back from the hospitals that the children that were listening to his CDs of the music written just for them, all of a sudden showed a spark of hope and drive and a will to live they hadn't had before. John was having a great impact on these terminally ill children. It was wonderful. We were all sitting there and fighting tears, so moved by his story. He then told us that he has a little girl, and Allison is her name, in New Orleans, that he was writing a song for, but he needs a chorus. He invited us to become the chorus for Allison's song. All 7,000 of us at the $1 Million Roundtable. He turned the convention center into a recording studio, and we all sang as best we could, fighting the tears, this great song for this little girl suffering from terminal illness. The next morning he came back and showed us a video of the song that we had recorded that he had written, and then Allison walked on the stage. Oh, there was a 10-minute standing ovation for her. Then she said to us, "Thank you, $1 Million Roundtable, for my song." Oh, wow, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. We felt like we'd been part of something beyond ourselves, touching another life in such a way. Privately, I had talked to John, and he told me how his life had been so racked with grief after his brother's suicide, and the tremendous price that his grief had cost on his life. I told him I understood that. My dad, who died at 50, I had had that kind of depression. I came out of it by knowing the touch of Jesus Christ, just as John had. And Jesus touched my life and gave me new purpose for living and hope and a will to reach out and touch. To know more about John Belzer and his ministry, go to songsoflove.org.